Ancient Athens, located in the Attica region of Greece, was one of the most influential and notable cities in the history of Western civilization. With a history dating back thousands of years, Athens flourished during the classical period of ancient Greece and stood out as a center of culture, politics, philosophy, and art. The origins of Athens date back to the Bronze Age, but the information available about this early period is often based on legend and myth, making it difficult to distinguish reality from fiction at times. According to Greek mythology, a half-man, half-serpent demigod named Cecrops emerged from the earth. He is considered the first king of Athens and is associated in mythology with the introduction of fundamental elements of civilization, such as agriculture, religion, and social organization. The best-known myth related to Cecrops involves the dispute between the goddess Athena and Poseidon for the city's patronage. Not wanting to make any of the gods angry and vengeful, Cecrops thought it more fair to let the people vote. Men who worked as fishermen at sea voted for Poseidon as they believed he would help them fish. Women who lived from agriculture voted for Athena. As there were more women than men, Athena emerged victorious, and the city was named after her. Another mythical character associated with the origins of Athens is Erysichthon, who succeeded Cecrops as king. In some versions of the myth, Erysichthon is one of Athena's sons. Athens had several settlements during the Mycenaean period, which lasted from 1600 to 1100 BC. These settlements are evidenced by fortifications and palaces on the Acropolis. However, the collapse of the Mycenaean civilization marked a period of decline and obscurity in Athens during the so-called Greek Dark Ages. The city resurfaced during the Archaic period, between the years 800 and 480 BC, witnessing the implementation of laws by the Athenian legislator Dracon and more comprehensive reforms by the statesman Solon. Cleisthenes was an archaic Greek politician who carried on the work of Solon in the late 6th century BC. He played a crucial role in the political evolution of Athens. Cleisthenes is often considered the father of Athenian democracy for his reforms that included the creation of a popular assembly and redistribution of land. During the 5th century BC, Athens reached its peak under the leadership of Pericles, marking an era of great prosperity and cultural development. Athenian society and culture in ancient Greece was remarkable and had a lasting influence on Western civilization. During different periods, such as the Archaic, Classical, and Hellenistic, Athenian society underwent several transformations. Athenian society was divided into different classes, including citizens, foreign residents, and slaves. Male citizens had political rights and participated by voting on important issues in the assembly. Citizenship was restricted only to adult men born to Athenian parents, excluding women, foreigners, and slaves. Athens was the birthplace of Greek philosophy, with notable philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. They explored ethical, political, and metaphysical questions, significantly influencing Western thought. Education in Athens was mainly aimed at male citizens. Children received education at home until they were 6 years old, after which they began to attend public schools. Classical Athens was marked by notable artistic achievements, especially during the rule of Pericles. The construction of the Acropolis, including the Parthenon, is an outstanding example of classical Greek architecture. Furthermore, Athens was an intellectual center with notable advances in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Athenian society was dynamic and marked by a remarkable appreciation of the arts and philosophy. Theater played a central role in Athenian culture, with dramatic festivals such as the Dionysias. Playwrights such as Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides produced plays that explored mythological themes and ethical issues. Ancient Greek literature flourished in Athens, with emphasis on epics such as Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. As one of the main city-states of ancient Greece, Athens was involved in several wars throughout its history. The military power of Athens during its golden age in the 5th century BC was remarkable and played a significant role in the medical wars and the Peloponnesian War. Athens built long walls, known as the Walls of Themistocles, connecting the city to the port of Piraeus. This allowed Athens to maintain access to the sea even in situations of siege. The Athenian light infantry, composed mainly of citizen soldiers, was well trained and used spears and shields. Athens also had hoplites, heavy infantry soldiers who formed the backbone of the army. They were armed with spears, shields, breastplates, helmets, and a sword for close-range combat. Athens built a formidable navy made up of triremes, fast and maneuverable warships. Notable strategists such as Themistocles played crucial roles in the development and command of the Athenian navy. Athenian dominance on the seas provided economic and strategic advantages, controlling trade routes and maintaining significant influence in the Delian League. Athens played a crucial role in the medical wars, a series of conflicts between the Greek city-states and the Persian Empire, led by Darius I and later by his son Xerxes I. The medical wars had two main campaigns: the First Medical War, which lasted between 492 and 490 BC, and the Second Medical War, fought between 480 and 479 BC. The Athenians, led by the strategist Miltiades, obtained a decisive victory over the Persians in the Battle of Marathon, which took place during the First Medical War in September 490 BC on a plain east of Athens. Legend has it that an Athenian messenger named Pheidippides ran 26 miles to Athens to announce victory before dying of exhaustion. Pheidippides' monumental effort gave rise to the marathon race held in many countries today. Xerxes I, Darius' successor, led a massive invasion of Greece, resulting in the Second Medical War. The Athenian fleet, led by Themistocles, played a key role in the Greek victory at the naval battle of Salamis. The victory at Salamis solidified the Athenian reputation as a naval power, paving the way for the development of the Delian League. Greek forces, including Athenians, won the Battle of Plataea and the Battle of Mycale, which took place in 479 BC, consolidating Greek resistance against the Persians. Athenian engagement in the medical wars was a pivotal moment in Greek history, marking events that had a lasting impact on the identity and development of the Greek city-states. Increasing tensions between Athens and Sparta arose after the medical wars, especially due to growing naval power and the Delian League, led by Athens. Disputes over territories and regional interests increased hostilities between the two powers. Sparta led the Peloponnesian League, a coalition of Peloponnesian city-states, while Athens led the Delian League, a naval alliance formed to resist the Persian threat. The war began when Sparta declared war on Athens, marking the beginning of a protracted conflict. Athens relied on its powerful navy, while Sparta relied on its formidable land infantry. However, an epidemic struck Athens, causing great devastation and resulting in the death of the Athenian leader Pericles, and both Athens and Sparta faced revolts and internal dissent during the conflict. The Archidamic War, which took place between 431 and 421 BC, was an initial phase of the Peloponnesian War, a conflict between the city-states of Athens and Sparta, along with their respective alliances. This phase of the war was named after the Spartan king Archidamus II, who led Sparta during this period. Athens' strategy was to avoid a direct confrontation with the powerful Spartan army and rely on its naval fleet, while the walls protected the city from a land siege. During this phase, there were several years of limited clashes and small battles, but without major decisive battles. The protracted war resulted in economic and social strain on both cities and their alliances. The Battle of Aegospotamos, which took place in 405 BC, was one of the final events of the Peloponnesian War and played a crucial role in the outcome of the conflict. After a series of unfavorable events for Athens, including the disastrous expedition to Sicily in 415 BC, naval and land warfare continued to Sparta's advantage. The Athenian fleet, led by Alcibiades, suffered significant losses, and Athens' naval power was weakened. The Athenian fleet, now under the command of Conon, was anchored near Aegospotamos on the Thracian coast. Lysander, a Spartan commander, led a daring night raid. The Athenian fleet was caught off guard and unable to resist due to lack of preparation and numerical inferiority. Many Athenian ships were captured or destroyed, and most of the remaining Athenian triremes were captured or burned. The defeat at Aegospotamos left Athens practically without a naval fleet. This event was a blow to Athens, which depended heavily on its navy to maintain supremacy in warfare. Athens, isolated and weakened, no longer had the resources or military capacity to continue resisting. In 404 BC, Athens surrendered, marking the end of the Peloponnesian War. Athens, now weakened and starving, was forced to accept harsh terms of surrender, which resulted in the end of its Delian League, the dismantling of its long walls, and the loss of its colonies. The Hellenistic period began after the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC and covered approximately the following 3 centuries. During this period, Athens, a once powerful Greek city-state, experienced significant changes in its political, economic, and cultural position. After Alexander's death, his generals, known as the Diadoches, divided his empire into independent kingdoms. Athens fell under the rule of the Antigonid dynasty. During this period, part of the walls of Athens that had been demolished were rebuilt. But even so, the city did not fully recover its former splendor. From the 2nd century BC, Athens came under Roman rule following the defeat of Macedonia in the Third Macedonian War. Athens became part of the Roman province of Achaia, and subsequently a Roman colony. Unlike many other conquered cities, Rome respected Athens' cultural and intellectual heritage. Many of the city's monuments and buildings have been preserved. The city continued to be an intellectual center. Philosophers such as Antiochus of Athens and philosophical schools such as the Platonic Academy continued to exist. At the time of the Roman Empire, Emperor Hadrian, who had a great appreciation for Greek culture, built Hadrian's Library in Athens, contributing to the preservation and promotion of knowledge. Herod Atticus, a Roman philanthropist, financed the restoration and construction of several buildings in Athens, including the Odeon of Herod Atticus, much visited by tourists going to Athens today. After the division of the Roman Empire, Athens came under the rule of the Byzantine Empire, which was characterized by a strong Orthodox Christian influence. Several Byzantine churches were built in Athens, incorporating architectural and artistic elements distinct from the Byzantine tradition, such as frescoes and mosaics. Over the centuries, Athens experienced demographic changes, such as a reduction in population compared to its previous greatness. The economic decline also affected the city, with its role as a commercial center reducing. The city faced challenges, including invasions and looting by barbarian invaders and pirates. The legacy of ancient Athens is vast and lasting. Athens' archaeological sites, including the Acropolis, are recognized as World Heritage Sites by UNESCO, highlighting their global importance. Its influence continues to be felt in various disciplines and forms of government around the world, making Athens one of the fundamental pillars of Western culture. Currently, Athens is the capital and largest city of Greece. It has a population of more than 600,000 inhabitants and receives millions of tourists every year.